Oftentimes you see the mainstream media with the assumption that it's a center-right country here in the United States. Well, I always tell you that's not true. In fact, when you look poll by poll, issue by issue, the country is solidly and fundamentally progressive. Well, there's now more data from a variety of different polls on a variety of different issues, which once again proves that point. First, let's start nice and simple. We've got a Gallup poll on contraception. You know, there's been all this huge hubbub and the Catholic leadership sending letters to President Obama, the Republicans saying, oh my God, you know, the contraception can't be allowed at these religious institutions, etc. Well, just on the core issue of contraception, well, how many Americans are in favor of it? Yeah, that would be 89% of all Americans. 82% of Catholics are on board, and 90% of non-Catholics are on board. Now, no one's surprised by this, but it's nice to show to politicians who believe that this is a really important issue in America. God, you know, you gotta let the religious institutions make sure that they discriminate even against non-Catholics in not allowing contraception because they believe it is immoral. Well, if they do, they're in a tiny, tiny minority of the country. Okay, now we move on to marijuana. Well, in the mainstream media, you hear that you can't even think about legalizing marijuana. The Democrats aren't really in favor of it. The Republicans are obviously dead set against it. Oh my God, that's a fringe thing. No, the American people are against that, except for the fact that they are totally in favor of that. Turns out in a new Rasmussen poll, which is a conservative polling organization, 56% say they favor legalization and regulation like you would with tobacco and with alcohol. Only 36% oppose legalization. That's not medical marijuana. That's all marijuana. 56 to 36. Crushing victory. Legalize it. And those numbers are soaring. They were, just 47, 42 a couple of months ago in March. It was only a 5-point difference. Now it's a 20-point difference in the same polling organization. Gallup also had it at 50% and rising in a different poll. So the country in favor of legalizing marijuana, although almost none of our politicians are. Well, I'm glad we live in a democracy. And then you move on to other issues. So, for example, pro-choice, pro-life. Now, here's a situation. Well, it appears that the country is right-wing. And it's like, whoa, you're going to hear these first set of numbers and you say, well, that's kind of depressing. So, first of all, pro-choice. 41%, that's it. In fact, 50% describe themselves as pro-life. There you have it. Center-right, right-wing country, okay? So I was wrong, right? Wrong again, Bob. Of course I'm right. Because what has happened is the words have gotten loaded. And so people think like, oh my God, a pro-choice position. Now that means you're in favor of abortion. Well, I'm against that. No. I'm pro-life. I wouldn't do an abortion. No. You're misunderstanding the question. If you're pro-choice, if you think that women should have the choice on whether they should have an abortion or not, that should be their decision, or whether it should be illegal and not their decision. Well, when they ask that question, 72% of Americans believe that abortion should be legal. 72%. That's the real number for pro-choice. Only 25% say illegal in all circumstances. And there's the middle ground that say illegal and legal under some circumstances. But 72% is a giant percentage of the country saying, yes, it should be legal. Okay? So are we clear enough on that? The country, fundamentally progressive.